My whole purpose to come here is to disturb you, is to bother you, is not to tell you happy stories because we have been hearing for the last 2 days. So I'm just playing a different role in the next few minutes. I'm also here to talk about the non-issues, the non-subjects, something which we have just taken for granted. Because I am coming from a country where the volume matters. Everything is in volume. The problems are in volume. You need solutions in volume. You also need people who work or trust on these solutions in volume. I am bothered when I pay toll tax on every single black road in India. Because I always thought a simple black road is my basic right. And if you make a road where I can drive at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour, you can still charge the toll tax. I am bothered when I purify my water in my own home. Because no water bill I have ever got which says that this water is meant for washing clothes or utensils. Then why should I purify that water at my home? I am bothered when I have to buy an inverter, despite the fact that you have everything. The current is not there. I am bothered when I have to dream for a soundless generator. And I am wondering that do we need a rape every 2 months in a moving bus for the country to get up again? It bothers. It bothers because people like us do not want to live, do not want to die the life of a cockroach. That's where all of us matter. That's where we need to understand that if you go to the international or national airport, you go to the toilet, you don't know how to flush it, you want to drink water, there are taps which I often call dog taps, you don't know how to drink water. But the large number of your railway stations, even today, do not have drinking water or a toilet to go. We cannot leave that country. That belongs to us and we are proud Indian at the end of the day. The time has come when we start talking about certain non-issues. We move beyond numbers. When the freedom movement happened, no one talked about how many lives have you impacted. The time has come when the CSR actually moves out of playing Holi with some slum children on the day of Holi, or NGOs stop adopting villages. In a country where you take 2 years to adopt a kid, by putting 2 hand pumps, how can you even claim that you have adopted a village? One of the non-issue, sanitary pad you heard. Another non-issue, we spoke about a few years back. We said that every single person on this earth, whenever you talk about the basic need, you say food, cloth, and shelter. People talk about home, people talk about roti, the bread. Cloth, you remember when a disaster happens. So the moment you have earthquake or flood, you suddenly remember that people need clothes. We found that you have 150 issues from domestic violence to global warming. Clothing is not even listed as a subject, but when you talk about 3 basic needs, you say roti, kapda, or makan. We argued that if earthquake is a disaster, flood is a disaster, how come winters are not a disaster? Why don't we have figures of people who die or suffer due to lack of clothing in winters? In my journalism days, in 91-92, I was roaming around the roads of Old Delhi, suddenly find this rickshaw. His name is Habib. He is still alive, around 80 years old, outside LNJP hospital in Delhi. Old Delhi is the hub of stories. It is the biggest center for the migrated people. It ranges between 1 lakh to 3 lakh. It all depends who does the survey. That's how the figures matter. A lot of people die due to various reasons. People inform Habib Bhai with his blind wife Amna Begum would go pick up the dead body, bring it to the crematorium. That's a full-time job. For every dead body, 91-92, he was paid 20 rupees, 2 meters of white cloth, which is now 50 rupees. When I was writing, when I was doing a story, 2 statements came up. Habib said, in winters, his work goes up, Many times he has so much of work that he cannot handle it. To my utter surprise, in 91-92, in the range of 3 to 4 kilometers where his rickshaw used to go, Habib used to pick up 10 to 12 dead bodies every 24 hours. That's your own capital. In 91-92. He had a little daughter, that's my daughter, of the same age, Kanis Bano, who said in Hindi, जब मुझे ठंड लगती है तो मैं लाश के साथ चिपक कर सो जाती हूँ. लाश तंग नहीं करती, लाश करवट नहीं बदलती. When I feel cold, I hug the dead body and sleep. It does not trouble me, it does not turn around. I am not here to sell the poverty of India. I'm just talking about realities, and realities are always disturbing. Outside a government hospital where a footfall of 5,000, 6,000 people on a regular basis is there, a child is forced to sleep with a dead body. What about the remaining part of the country? Just because we never considered clothing a subject, just because we never considered winter as a disaster. 14 years back, we started working on cloth as a basic need. The only difference, before I show you some of the pictures, we wanted to move it out of charity. Because first thing which we said that whenever you say, I want to donate cloth, that itself is wrong and overstatement because you never donate, you discard. Let us be thankful to the people who wear our second-hand used material because they are the one who extend the life cycle of that particular material. And when it goes to the villages, the biggest asset of village India even today is something called self-respect, is something called dignity. That's why I am totally against the word of adoption. You do not find beggars in the villages. Begging is a typical city phenomena. The initiative which we took is called Cloth for Work, which people today call the genesis of parallel economy, where people work on the village level issues. Instead of money, they earn clothes, utensil, footwear, almost all kind of material. 98 something which was started with 67 personal clothes. Today we deal with about 1 million kg every year, variety of material. Some of the pictures just to show you how it works. So a road of about 2 kilometers in Bihar, no wages paid in cash, only material as currency. Lot of wells all across the country. The first bridge is about 240 feet by 6 feet bridge. A sturdy bridge, take your bike, cross it. Total cost on the spot, what we spent was 2,250 rupees. Rest was logistics, which in any case we would have spent, even if we would have distributed it as charity. And then many other bridges. Ponds are the biggest source of water and the biggest source of all kind of diseases. You have schemes, government schemes to dig new pond. There is no scheme to clean the pond. That's how it happens, ponds to road, to the schools like this. So what we are just trying to prove that the old material can actually move out of the typical charity sector and can become a huge development resource for various kind of activities where we do not operate on a top-down approach, but people decide what is needed in the villages. This is some last 2 years, some 900 activities like that. School material becomes a resource for a school, not as a charity. We understand the etiquette, behavior of the school kids, and then they are rewarded. We talk a lot about education policy, teacher-student ratio, whole lot of big things when we talk about education. But do you understand that out of 180, 200 days of a school working, 60 days the girl does not go to the school because she does not have a small piece of sanitary pad? What hampers education most? This is the one. A simple solution, I'm just carrying a piece of cloth. Can you imagine if 2004, 2005, if you go on Google and type sanitary pad, sanitary napkin, you will find whole lot of tampons and cups, not even a single research in India. No problem statement, no solution. That's why I call it a non-issue. Whole lot of people who work on microfinance, self-help group, or any kind of health issue, women is the target. No one talks about this sanitary pad. That's why I call it a non-issue. Or in income generation, my last slide. We often see this kid because we have accepted the status quo like many other things in India. This does not bother us. 2 drops of polio with Amitabh Bachchan in advertising, we will go on Sunday and put it in his mouth. On Ashtami or Navami, we will feed him. We have all kind of negative words for this kid. Can you say the same thing? The only difference is a pair of cloth. I am standing here. I was drinking tea. Somewhere this big spot, suppose, happened. You think I would have been confident in the same manner? I often wonder that why do we have double standards where we want to live and we want people to survive? Go to the village, you don't even go to him. Suddenly you start calling him Kaka. A pair of cloth matters. And what we say, whenever people think about it and whenever people listen about it, they offer their clothes to us. We are not in the business of collecting and distributing clothes. The whole idea is to create something where this can become a resource, where people start understanding that there are a lot of non-issues in this world, which certainly needs attention. Thank you very much.